up, guys? Carolina Jackpot coming at you November 16th, 2019. Wanted to make a quick video, talk about a few games today that are on the slate, and give my reaction to some news from the University of South Carolina yesterday. First off, 3 games involving the Gamecocks, Clemson Taters, and the Georgia Bulldogs. All got big games, semi-big games today. And first off, Georgia going on the road, taking on the Auburn Tigers. That's a 3:30 game over on CBS. Georgia's a 3-point road favorite against the Auburn Tigers. Auburn comes in 6-2, I do believe. I got 2 losses. Georgia, of course, only 1 loss this year, ranked number 4 in the college football playoff poll that came out on Tuesday evening. This game, to me, this one looks like it's shaped up kind of like the Georgia-Florida game, in all honesty. And the only place, obviously, I can see Auburn with the advantage here is that home crowd. This game right here, this is going to be a tough one to pick. If you look at them offensively, both these teams, they're almost exactly identical in terms of rushing yards, passing yards, and number of points that they put up per game. They are almost identical, mirror images of each other, but they're still very different. Auburn's got a little bit of speed on the outside that Georgia does not have. And then, of course, at the running back position, Georgia is just so much deeper than what Auburn is. It's unbelievable. Well, that ain't they're much deeper than, virtually anybody they're going to play. Defensively, they stack up well against each other. Also, your front 4 there at Auburn, a lot stronger than Georgia's front 4. But Georgia's defense as a whole, I think that total unit is probably just a little bit better than what you got at Auburn. Auburn will give up some passing yards, and I think that may be where the Georgia Bulldogs can find an edge. I think with the third-year quarterback versus a true freshman quarterback. True freshman's at home. This is a big game for both teams. I just think that Georgia's just a little bit better, and I think they're going to win this game and cover the spread. I think they win by about a touchdown, but it wouldn't shock me at all to see Auburn pull this game out. Wouldn't shock me at all. They've played some pretty decent football this year, but I just don't think they quite get it done. I think Georgia wins this game, and then maybe finally the people will shut up after they get another impressive win under their belt. That we should be in the playoffs if you lost to South Carolina. If you lost to South Carolina, should you be in the playoffs if you lost to a 4-8 Syracuse team? Ask yourself that question. All right. Speaking of that, moving along, Clemson Taters, 3:30 today. I believe that's over on ESPN. They are taking on the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, a team that impressive record, but they kind of limp into this game, missing 2 of their top 3 wide receivers. Obviously, they like to throw the ball around up there at Wake Forest a lot. Quarterback Jamie Newman is pretty talented. He can run around a little bit too. They got a lot of speed. They impressed me in an early season game, which is the only game of theirs I sat down and watched from beginning to end. Was I think week number 2, their game against Rice, and they looked very impressive there. Of course, it was a much lower level opponent than what they play throughout the season. This was looked at to be maybe Clemson's last test for the college football playoff, or for the ACC championship game anyway. Because obviously South Carolina's not going to challenge them at all. But I got to go back to it last year. Wake Forest is virtually the same team last year as they are this year. And Clemson beat them 63-3 in Winston-Salem. I just don't think that they're I mean, they're a decent team for the ACC. They're a nice little team. Don't get me wrong, but they're not, if you had, and here I go back to this argument again, the sunshine pumping, but that's where I'm talking about. The ACC is weak. I mean, if you have they're like a 1-2 loss team. I think they're a 2-loss team. And if you have like a 1-2 loss team like that in the SEC, I mean, the team would be like number 5, 6 in the playoff poll right now. And one in the ACC is like, I don't think they're even ranked. So, I mean, there's just no comparison between the athleticism of these two teams. Trevor Lawrence has been playing much better ever since that North Carolina game. He's really gotten his shit together. Everybody else has as well. I think, they've answered all the questions, and now it's just the same old thing as if you haven't played anybody. But they still continue to roll. They're not playing anybody, but the ones that they do play, I mean, they're just absolutely curb stomping them, clown stomping them, mollywopping them, whatever you want to say. And last week against NC State, was it 55-10? I mean, they beat Florida State by like 6 scores. I mean, I don't think today it's going to be any different. Give me the Taters to cover the spread here. I think it's 32.5 right now. I say they win like 45-10. They're not going to have any problem. Wake Forest did have the leading receiver in the ACC. One of those guys that's injured. His name's Sage Surratt. He's not going. He's got over 1,000 yards already. He's done for the year. There's not going to be. That's not going to be a ball game. Clemson wins that one easily. And tonight at, I think it's either 7 or 7:30. I'm not even sure. The Gamecocks go on the road to Kyle Field, College Station, to take on the 6-3 Jimbo Fisher-led Texas A&M Aggies. This will be a night game in College Station. Second time in a row the Gamecocks have played Texas A&M in College Station at night. And, quite honestly, 3 or 4 weeks ago, I would say this would be a toss-up. South Carolina was looking much better than they had been in the early part of the season. But that improvement didn't last for long. The injuries start mounting up. And, so do the losses. And, I mean, silly losses too, man. Silly losses that I just can't. I just go on and on. I mean, the silly losses to teams like Tennessee, silly losses to teams like Missouri that they should have beaten. A crappy loss to Appalachian State, which, take nothing away from Appalachian State, is probably better than the two teams I just mentioned. But after you've already lost games against teams that you should beat, then when you lose to them, who you should beat as well, it just magnifies it, makes it look even worse. It makes it look like you lost to the Southern Conference Appalachian State, when in reality, you lost to a pretty decent team that's probably like the third best group of 5 team out there. Just real talk. I don't see South Carolina covering the spread in this game. I really don't. Texas A&M has some injuries too at the running back position. But if they don't have injuries in where they have been steady all year long, quarterback position, Kellen Mond has performed well this year. Now, if you look at their resume, it ain't that impressive either. Their wins have come against lower-level competition, and their SEC wins have not been impressive. 24-10 or 24-17 against Ole Miss. I think they won like by 3 points against Arkansas. Yeah, they beat them by like 3 points. They did blow out Mississippi State last week. Gave up a ton of points too, though. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't. Their defense could give up some points to South Carolina if South Carolina was healthy and healthy mentally as well as physically. I don't think they're healthy mentally either. And they may, Coach Boomy the Liar may get on there and tell you they are, tell you everything's fine here, but it's not. I mean, they're beat up. They're already have a short depth issue anyway. I don't see them covering the spread here. I think they'll lose bad. I think they'll lose by 3 or 4 touchdowns. To be quite honest with you, I hate to say that, but reality is reality, and we just have to deal in the world of reality here. So that's my thoughts on picks and predictions on the spread on those 3 games. Now, my thoughts on something else. So the president of the University of South Carolina, Bob Caslin, issued a statement yesterday concerning Coach Boom Musdump's future, and it's not one that I'm particularly happy with. He had given me a little bit of hope last week when he made the comment that Musdump was his football coach through the end of the season. Now, when Caslin took over as president, it's not really called president, at the United States Military Academy, West Point. They fired the football coach a couple of months after he took over, who was running a substandard program as well. So that kind of made me think when he made that statement that, hey, maybe things are going to work out for us here. Not so. He gave Boom and Ray Tanner his vote of confidence. So these 2 clowns are going to be around for at least another year. Now, don't get me wrong about Ray Tanner. He is a great baseball coach. I mean, the things that he's done there with that program are remarkable. The thing that doesn't get me is I just don't understand how you can be a great baseball coach, but when you're AD, you can't hire a decent baseball coach. And then the football coach is all he's really had to hire there. He didn't hire Dawn Staley, the women's basketball coach. He didn't hire Frank Martin, the men's basketball coach. So, I mean, I don't get it. He can't hire a decent baseball coach. He hired his friend, Chad Holbrook, promoted him up to take over his job after he became, the athletic director. And the program, they had one good year under Holbrook, and it went in the shitter. And he couldn't pull it back out, which, I mean, he had some talent there on that team, but he just couldn't do anything with it. Fans got angry. They got behind that, and they got rid of him. Then he brings in this guy from South Florida, this Mark Kingston. I mean, I would sooner have Kofi Kingston coaching the baseball team. I mean, hell, last year, I don't think they even won a series in the SEC until like late in the year when it didn't matter. Nobody cared. And the year before, they made some kind of improbable, fluky run to the college football or college baseball super regionals and just immediately got stomped right out. And it's just sad. And then he hires a football coach who's a born idiot. And I knew that this was a bad hire. It was a bad hire from the beginning. I didn't like it, but I tried to support him for 3 years. I mean, I got behind him. Go Coach Boom. The boom bus is rolling on 4 wheels. We're spinning. We are ready to go. And it just didn't work out. And I'm done with it. That he is not going to win. He's not going to win football games down here. He's not going to win at a consistent level. He's not going to win championships. Not going to take you to New Year's Six bowls. And he's not going to get the kind of players we need down here to compete. It's